Good morning, my spiritual brothers and sisters. I want to start off by giving God the praise and honor this morning. Guys, I want to come real quick to tell you, yes, I have a confession. I have a confession to make. I was that person where I was in sin and I was doing drugs and my conscience started bothering me. My conscience started telling me that, hey, look, you need to make a confession because you need to free yourself from what you're going through. And right when I would get finished doing the drugs, I remember I called my mother, I called my sister, and I called my aunt. And I told them and I confessed to them. And when I got finished, let me tell you guys, I felt so free. A burden was off of me. But one thing I did not prepare myself for was the repercussions. I did not have a strategy behind it. I didn't have any recourse or anything. I didn't have no idea what I was going to do next. Okay? And what I had to end up doing is that after going through a couple of days and everything was fine, when the weekends come back around, the weekend bring up familiar spirits. Subconsciously, I'm starting to think about my emotions, and, you know what I'm saying, the experience I had. And guess what? I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to fight it. And I keep failing. I keep failing over months, over time. I'm like, well, God, I thought this was it. And then finally I just heard a voice say, you got to have the Christ mind. I said, okay, well, I can get the Christ mind. I said, but how? And then it's like, I was thinking, okay, let me figure this out. So I went to the energy part. I said, okay, well, the universe. Okay, let me start with the universe. So I started focusing on potential energy and kinetic energy. And I realized that as long as I stay positive versus negative, then maybe they get me striving in the right direction. So it was working. But one thing about it, I thought I was free from. I thought I could fight it by being positive all the time. But what I failed to realize that it didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. Because still, I end up doing the drugs. Like after all of this, then her voice again, be Christ-minded. You know, you can't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I'm like, well, okay, now guess what I had to do? I had to do the most important things. I had to surrender my mind. That's the only thing I was holding on to. That's a lot of times that's what we all hold on to, right? Will you agree? We're holding on to our mind, but we'll do everything else, but we won't let the mind go. Because we let the mind go, it become unfamiliar. Everything you do, you'll never understand. I had to put the mind on Christ. And ever since I put the mind on Christ, I started noticing, I started operating a little different because now my mind will start making decisions. I started listening to what it wants me to do because I had to surrender. When you surrender something, that means you got to love something. I loved Christ so much that I had to surrender because I didn't have no other option. And that's where a lot of us are right now, is that we are sitting here backpedaling, trying to figure out what is the right direction to go. Where should we go? What should we do? And God said he's right there with you all the time. Right now, some of you guys sit here doing the right thing. You're doing this, you're going to work, you're going to school, you're in a relationship, you're being faithful and all that stuff. But you're like, how can I connect the dots? How can I connect that with my spiritual world? Well, easy. You got to get into the word.